today I'm going to show you how I made this gorgeous crochet linen halter. I'll give you a little 360. Here's the back. And I love the little frills and all the details. So I really hope you find this video helpful and enjoy. I hope you enjoy making this top as much as I did. So let's get into it. Okay, so what you'll need is cotton, but I've got some linen that's yarn. So I'm going to be working with this for the first time, which is exciting. And then you'll need a bigger, like a fatter crochet needle. I'm using a 4.5mm crochet needle, just because I want, like, what I have in mind is the crochet to be like messy-ish, like not neat. Everything that I make is like quite neat and like structured, whatever. I kind of want it to be messy and textured. So I've got like the toughness of the linen and a combination of different stitches, or like a combination of a different stitch that I have in mind. So anyway, that's a little bit of a rant, but anyway, you're going to start with a slip stitch, little figure of 8, catch. This is also another freehand video that I'm going to have a bit of fun with. I'm going to bring you along on the journey so we can kind of just have fun with it and you can learn from my errors. So to start, you're going to make a chain that is like long enough to fit from here to here, or whatever length you want. So I think I got my chain that's long enough. Okay, I'm not telling you how many I'm doing because if you want to freehand it, everyone's sizes are different. So you gauge by yourself, for yourself, by measuring on how you want it. So preferably from the neck, if you wanted a halter, from the neck to however long you want it. And from, okay, so this is a time where you can get your stitch markers. Either use an earring, or you can actually like hoop earrings, or an actual like stitch marker. So if you can measure out from like, so you have to pretend here and use your imagination. So as you, where you want it to be really narrow. So for me, I want it to be like here, really narrow. And then from here to here, you need it broad enough to cover your boobs. So I'll show you what we're gonna do. Okay, so let's call it from here to here, a couple stitches. And also let me show you how big the gaps are to work in with this fat needle. So just for the first few rows, we are gonna single crochet because the stitch is gonna be small. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna be smaller at the top than the rest of the top. So we go single crochet from here to here, half double crochet from here to here, and then from here to down the way there will be double crochet. So we're working vertically with the stitch. So you don't really have to do any increasing or decreasing. It's also a new way for me, so something a bit different. You can have fun with it. So single crochet, let's call it about 15 stitches to, then again it's gonna vary for everyone, so like don't follow 15 stitches. I think I'm just gonna see what I'm happy for. So do however many stitches you think you need, and then gauge it, put it on yourself and see what works. So okay, so I think that will work. So let me count how many I did. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, let's do 16 for good luck. Okay, so once you've done the single crochets, put on yourself from the neck. Okay, yeah, that's good. From there to there. And then so from there to there, you're going to do half double crochets. So now we move to the half double crochets. Let's do 15 or 16 as well. So half double crochets, yarn around your needle, through the gap, catch and pull through, so you have 3 loops on your needle, yarn around, catch, pull through 2 loops, yarn around, catch, pull through 2 loops. Okay, now I'm not being so specific on how to do a half double crochet because there's so many videos on the internet that you can kind of watch and figure this out. And if you already know how to crochet, you should know how to do a little half double crochet. It's not difficult. So okay, now we got 15 half double crochets. Now put that against you and see where this ends. So ideally you want it just above, like where your armpit is. So I've got it sideways because that's kind of how it's gonna be. So it's gonna be like there and there. Okay, so I've even got too much going on here, so I'm just gonna pluck out a few stitches. And then now once you've done the half double crochet, you're going to go into double crochet. So double crochet, for those of you who don't know, is yarn around your needle, through the gap, catch, pull through, so you have 3 loops, then yarn around, catch, pull through 2 loops, yarn around, catch, pull through 2 loops. So that's the double crochet. Now you're going to do that all the way to the end, then you're going to chain 2 and double crochet back to that point. So where you start the double crochet, I would recommend putting in like a little earring or a stitch marker. I don't have any stitch markers, but I do, however, have an earring that I'm gonna just place into that last half double crochet that I did, because it's really quite easy to like identify the single crochet. So I've got my little earring there. Now we're gonna half double crochet. I mean double crochet, not half double. Okay, so on this side where you have the double crochet, you're actually going to chain 2, 1, 2, and you're going to carry on double crocheting until you meet that stitch marker. So oh, and also I forgot to tell you what we're going to do is, you see each stitch has like a little V. We're going to crochet only to the back V, like into the back of the V. And what that does, it creates like a little rib, which is the texture that I'm after. Like, you don't have to do that, you can go through both V's and go through the entire stitch, but me, I'm trying something different because that's pretty standard procedure. So I don't know if this will focus, but you can see each V, and you just go into the back loop of the V, like that. I don't know if it's focusing. Okay, so now we've come to the earring. You can either choose to move the earring or keep it as is. Like, you can take the earring out and put it on that first half double crochet that you're doing. But I'm just gonna keep it there because, like, I don't know, you can just move it to the next row like this. But I don't really think there's a need for me. You can just move it on to the next row. So each row you do, you can just move it and adjust it like that, and it can hang out in a different spot each time. But yeah, I'm just putting it there so I don't have to count. So now we're half double crocheting. Okay, so now I can see where the single crocheting starts, but if you have another earring or a stitch marker to put in there, maybe use that for just indication, I guess. But yeah, it's not necessary. I think the single crochet is really much easier to identify than the half double crochet to the double crochet. So anyway, I'm gonna single crochet to the end of the row there. Okay, so I've gone into the last single crochet there. You're gonna chain 1 because we are starting the next row with a single crochet and it's the smallest stitch. So you flip your work around and you just continue to single crochet into the back loop of every stitch. So I don't know if I failed to mention, but it's every single stitch that we're doing, we're working into the back stitch of the stitch, regardless whether it's double crochet or single crochet, you're crocheting into the back stitch. So you're going to carry on. So where there's single crochet, you'll single crochet, and when there's half double crochet, you'll half double crochet, and then when there's double crochet, you'll double crochet. And then you'll notice that on both sides, on one side you'll be starting with single crochet and you'll be doing the pattern, so you'll be doing single crochet and then half double crochet and then double crochet, and then on the double crochet side you'll be starting your chain 2, flip your work around, start the next row with double crochet, and you'll double crochet until you start the half double crocheting, then you'll half double crochet all the way along until you start the single crochet, and then you'll just repeat rows and rows of that, and I'll show you what you come to once you've done a few rows. Okay, so this is multiple rows, like I can't even tell you how many, I've not been counting, but this is kind of what it looks like. This is like a third of the top done, so you can see my vision here where it's really narrow at the top, it starts to widen, and then it gets way thicker at the bottom. So I'll show you, maybe it's half of the top actually, that's definitely half. So this is how I plan for it to be, like small at the top, wider to cover the boobs, and then this will kind of go a bit more around. Actually, yeah, maybe it's a third of the top. So like we got two more of these to go. So 1, 2, 3, and then maybe this will be long enough to fit around the back, but we'll see. I won't be too enthusiastic, but you basically carry on doing this and you'll conclude to, and you can see the texture of the half double, like the stitches in the back. It's got this like rib and also a nice stretch to it, which I really like. But anyway, I'll meet you once I have completed all the rows for the top. I might also put in some actually specifications on the length just in case, so you can use it as a reference and how many rows I've done, but I'll let you know once the top is completed. Ten, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, got 15 half double crochets, and now, no, 15. So we got 17 half double crochets, and now we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got 16 single crochets, and to avoid happening the same mistake as what I've just done there, where it like juts out, you're gonna go into that very last stitch, and then you're gonna chain 1, flip your work around, and then skip the very first stitch and go into the second stitch, just like so, and then you carry on making single crochets where there are single crochets. And you can place a stitch marker there, and then when there's half double crochets you'll half double crochet, and then when there's double crochet you'll double crochet, and you can see it makes the shape of the halter that we want without having to increase or decrease. Okay, so in total I did 39 rows of the top, ending on the bottom right corner. That's important. Like, you're not ending on the single crochet row, just make sure you're ending on the double crochet side so you can start with your back panel. So yeah, let's get started with the back panel. So for the back panel, I am just going to start in the bottom right corner there, and we're basically just going to do the length of the double crochets. So I'm just going to put a stitch marker there, and for me it will be 30 stitches, but if your top's a bit shorter it will be less than mine. So yeah, we're just going to double crochet and we're going to build onto the back. I did 10 rows on both sides, so what you're doing to the side you'll do on the other side as well. Okay, to avoid it jutting outwards, I'm not going to go into that very first stitch. I'm just going to go into that second double crochet in the back loop there and just carry on. So And then you're just going to continue going back and forth on this just little panel until it's long enough for you. I'm gonna have to try on and just see, and also bear in mind you have to do the exact same on the other side, so you'll be doing both. What you did on this side you'll be doing on the other side, so don't make this side too long because you kind of don't want it to touch. I'll show you how you want it. This is how I want the back to be, so I don't want it like too long. But we're not doing that, so we're only working from that downwards. Okay, so this is it with the back bits. I did 10 rows on both sides, and now we can start with the frill. And you can start from either side, really. Okay, so now on this bottom edge we are making a frill. So basically what you want to do is, okay, so basically for the frill what you want is way more stitches than what you have initially on that bottom row. Yeah, we're working into the side of the stitches, but like you can improvise. Well, we have to improvise. So for example, I think I'm going to go 5 double crochets in one gap, then do 3 double crochets consecutively, like not in the same stitch, and then you'll do another increase of 5 double crochets. I know in this little clip here I am showing you that I did 4 double crochets, but I noticed from my error that I should have done 5. But right now I ran out of yarn, so I'm just making a little knot, and then I will just carry on double crocheting. And then when it comes to the knot, you just like leave the knot kind of at the bottom of the stitch, and then hold the like excess strings from the knot to the left, and you just crochet over them, and it's like you have never even tied a knot in your yarn in the first place to join. So you'll just crochet over that, and then for this first row you just carry on making like your increase of 5 double crochets, and then you'll do 3 stitches of double crochet, and then you'll increase again. And then also I recommend working into the actual stitch of the side of the side of the double crochet, instead of working into the gap, which would be like you crocheting over it in a way. But anyway, why I say this is because, again, I learned from my errors. It doesn't end up as frilly as it is if you're just going into the gap, like going into the stitch. You'll see later on. Double crochet, and in that gap we can do 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll move on to the next stitch. 1, yeah, and you're basically just gonna do this all the way to the other side. Okay, so you can kind of see the frills coming along, and then also make sure that you crochet into like the stitch, not the gap, because over here where I first started, you can see I did the like 4 double crochets every 4th stitch, but I was crocheting into the gap, and you don't get quite the frill you want as if you actually crochet in the stitch. So now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, flip your work around, and I'm going into the stitch with a double crochet. So we'll go into the first stitch, the second stitch, and then in that 3rd stitch you will make your 5 double crochets. So why I say 5 double crochets is, I think I explain it later on, but basically I'm going to the 3rd stitch. So if I did 5, the 3rd stitch would be the middle of the 5 double crochets in the previous row. It's just a little bit more easier in that terms. and then you'll do 1, 2, 3, and you can see that cluster right over here, and in that third stitch of the cluster you will like when I mean cluster, the increase in the previous row, you will do your increase for the second row in the third stitch of that cluster. So you'll do 5 double crochets, 4, 5, and then you'll just move on doing your normal singular double crochets until you reach the next cluster. So you'll go like 1, 2, 3, but basically this is creating an equal fold, like your consistent frill. So yeah, you'll see me crocheting. I have to kind of mute out the sound because then I get copyrighted for music. So I'm just trying to explain over my own talking, but yeah, so you can just see me going for it here. It's pretty simple, but also you'll end up doing this for 3 rows. If you want like a longer frill, do more rows, but I think I'm just going to stick to 3 rows of frilling. So yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're done with 5. Okay, so you're just going to continue this all the way across. So looking at it, in the previous row, on the first row of increases, I probably should have done 5 increases, not 4, because then it would have been equal if I went into the third stitch of every stitch. So that's why I'm doing 5 in this next rows, but like, I mean, anything can work, you know, it's just random increases, so if you just do enough, you'll get a nice fold. So this is row 2 of frilling done. And we're going to start row 3. So I'm going to chain 2, flip my work around. I'm not going to go into the very first stitch, so we're going to do a double crochet, that's 1. We're going to do our 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then 2. So it's the middle of the 5 stitches that you will be increasing. And then in the third stitch, we are going to begin our increase of 5 double crochets. So that's our second double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're just gonna move on. So we're gonna do, so I'm not counting here, I'm just gonna make like singular double crochets in each stitch until I reach each cluster of like increases from the previous round. So yeah, there should be like maybe 5 or 6 stitches in between where you need to increase, but I think by just increasing in that third stitch in the increase that you did in the previous round is maybe a quicker and more convenient way of counting. It's like a little hack, I think. Crochet tip 101. Go from what you did in the beginning, well, in the previous row, and then yeah. But by kind of gauging what you did in the previous row, like increasing every time you see the increase in the row before, you can kind of create a consistency without having to count every single stitch. Yeah, I just hope that helps and you can kind of make sense of it. Like, that's just how my brain sees it. So, and I don't know, it's easy for me. So maybe it can help you too. And you're basically just going to keep frilling like this to the end of the row, and then I'll meet you once we're there. So, I have done 3 rows of frills, increasing, and then I just cut off the yarn and fastened it all on the side. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the straps. So I'm doing strap from here and strap from the middle. So what I'm going to do to start, I'm just going to stick my needle in into the top. So we are going to begin our straps with making a slip stitch, and then you are going to catch the slip stitch through the top of, so I'm starting at the top end of the back panel, like on the other side from the frill. So I'm just gonna, excuse what I'm doing there, I'm just gonna catch the slip stitch. And then we're gonna make a chain of 40. And that should leave enough space to make a pretty bow, like a nice size bow. And then once you have done your chain of 40, you're basically just gonna double crochet back on that stitch, back on the chain in every single stitch. And I will meet you once we have completed that. I'm just gonna silence the video because, again, for copyright reasons, so you can kind of watch what I'm doing, and then yeah. Okay, so now we have completed our chain and worked that chain with a double crochet. So now I'm gonna single crochet 19 stitches, or like kind of halfway between that, like, oh gosh, what am I trying to say, like halfway between the frill and where the first strap begins. But why I'm telling you to count is because what you do on this side, you have to do on the other side, and you want it to be pretty even. So, I mean, you could eyeball it, like kind of mirror it, but you'd rather be safe than sorry. So yeah, you can just see me single crocheting here. I did 19 stitches, which is like not exactly halfway, but it is halfway for in between where the first strap is and the frill. Because in total I have 30 stitches, and that means like I would be on 15, which is not the case for me. So yeah, I kind of compensated for the length of that little frill. Sorry, I repeated myself like 3 times, but yeah. And then once you have figured out that medium, like for you, because then again, if you're not doing exactly what I'm doing, it's going to be different. So what you're going to do is we're going to chain 40 again. So both straps are chain 40, and then you double crochet back on that chain. So yeah, you'll double crochet back on the chain, and then you'll crochet just before, like single crochet, like we did, but you'll stop just before the frill, so you won't be crocheting on that frill. But yeah, again, I'll silence the video and you can kind of just watch what I'm doing. And then single crochet to, and then I'm going to say this end here, so just before that frill starts, and then you'll just do what you did on the side for the other side, and then yeah, I'll meet you once that's done. Okay, so for the next strap, we are starting with a little slip stitch, and then I'm going to make a chain of 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go back into that stitch there, and I'm going to do double crochet. So I'm going to go back on the, like, so we're doing a chain of 3, then you chain 2, and then you go back,
so now
and we're going to double crochet.
Now we're going to chain 2,
you're going to chain 2, flip your work around, and then you're going to make 2 double crochets. So basically, the chain 1 counts as 1 double crochet, and then you do 2 more double crochets. So you're working with a total of 3 double crochets for the strap. And then you're going to make the strap long enough to like tie around your neck, like including space for bow and like the legs
the bow.
So you're doing double
So
crochets
however
for the strap.
many rows you need to do for
And
that,
I'm
I
doing
did
like
not
3
count
double
however many
crochets,
rows I
and then
needed. I
this
just
you're gonna
kind of
make long enough
freehanded
fit
it. I even think I
around
switched
your
to
neck
treble crochet
and
just
long
to
enough
like
for a bow.
get it
For it
over
to
with.
tie nicely into
But
a
like if
bow
you want to
with
be like
some
perfectly neat, I would recommend
not
staying
leg
to
room,
one
but, like,
stitch.
you know how the bow has its like.
Okay, so now I'm just showing you the top of the neckline. That is where you're gonna weave in the like strap to tie around your neck, and then here's just my friend wearing the top, and you can kind of just see how it all fits.
This is my talented friend, everyone.
Oh, stop. Oh, it looks so good. Oh.
Yeah, so right, this the one-day challenge of the t-shirt has been complete. Well done. Round of
Applause. Applause.
We're gonna have the grand reveal. Just over here, there's a toilet, hidden door. Grand reveal incoming. The crochet queen herself.
Oh, yeah.
Been grinding all day. No, just thriving off the coffees.
Yo, Ashley.
Ooh. And 3, 2, 1. Ooh. That's top, bum. Sheesh.
And the neckline is so nice.
I know. What the heck? This is better than what I thought.
Yeah, details.
What a vlog.
And like the length is really nice.
Oh my god. And look, it's so flattering on you. Get here.
I think we just need to make it tighter at the back.
Easy game.
But I quite like how it's kind of loose.
Okay, we need to get there.